to
There
see
you
you.
are.
Okay.
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
So, how have you been? I'd love to hear how things have been since we last chatted about a year ago.
Yeah, well, it has been, well, for me, this awakening thing has been very, very profound and very tough,
Yeah.
very, very difficult. But the long story short, I'm doing a lot better. And also, as we discussed, my awakening started also in connection with this ear ringing thing,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
and um, and also with some other ear problems. And yeah, I have healed a lot in terms of the hearing, and this is all the result of all the all the work I have been inner work that I have been doing relating to my trauma that
Mm-hmm.
popped up as a result of the spiritual awakening,
Mm-hmm.
came to the surface, and I had to deal with, which was a lot. I thought that I already did a lot of work in my 30s, but it looks like I did not. So all this pretty crazy stuff from very young childhood
Mm-hmm.
trauma came up. So yeah, I have been working on this, and also my my mission on Earth has been clarifying, and yeah, I have been going through. I would say, yeah, it's like it's difficult to explain this, but well, I am now more connected with my higher self, with my soul.
Mm-hmm.
Since some months, since 6 months, I started to feel my soul, which is I was very surprised at the beginning. I didn't understand, but I now have know how to recognize it. And yeah, and that's it. And in terms, so the thing is that I would say so everything started in August 2023. This very in a matter of hours, I went uh, mm, into this dark night of the soul, like in hours, from the most happy time of my life into hell,
Mm-hmm.
together with this ear ringing that promptly started. And I would say that I have been in hell for 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And since February, I am doing a lot better, and especially at the end of this summer also. Yeah, and life is also with this situation, some life things, or yeah, situations came along as well, challenging personal situations. So everything is like, yeah, a big transformational period of my life, yeah, of your life. And also the most challenging time of my life in any event, that's for sure. But at the same time, yeah, understanding I am this dark night and this tinnitus thing really went did force me go to very deep into myself and to really connect with myself, forget about you know society, all these things, and really went I got very isolated for many months, probably 18 months or something like this. Yeah, so it's like the spirit or the universe asking you to do the inner work, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, it's all good, a lot better. And like I mentioned to you, so the my hearing is a lot better, and also my tinnitus. So yeah, and now I have a feeling where I'm going in terms of my mission, that it is it has to do with awakening, or opening, no, opening the consciousness of the people or awakening people through the music as a DJ, but not only as a DJ. I have had this gift always. When I play music, people tell me a lot of times, oh, very crazy things like you have made me the happiest day of my life. This kind of stuff, you know. And sometimes I think, I mean, these people have taken too many drugs or something. but no, no. A lot of people tell me that, well, they like it. So I have this gift that I am able to somehow channel the some high frequencies that go through me, through the music that I play, and go into the people. And this has been sent to me and said to me also by very awakened people. So yeah, I'm working on that. Also during this dark night of the soul, and I have met a lot of things change. Also, the relationships change a lot. I met a lot of new people that are in my frequency, not because I was um, like, for instance, you and other people, but not because I was looking for to get new friends, but it's just the universe attracts you, these people, no? And here in Ibiza, where I live, a bunch of new people appeared in a very magical way in my life, and also very related to the mission that I have to do, that I'm doing already, but that I'm going to do as of now more intensively, no? Because what I have learned, my intuition tells me that that spirit like sent me into this dark night of the soul in order to really awaken and also to do all the inner work that I had to do
Mhm.
prior to be like somehow like clean, so that I can really embody my mission on 100%. No, so would be a little bit the summary of my last 12 months, because I think we talked like 12 or 13 months ago, something like that.
Yeah, it sounds like you've been continuing through like a dark night since then. So like a long one. Yeah, I mean, the trauma
Very long.
work is no joke. I feel like when people talk about awakening, they're like, "Oh, peace and love," and they
Sí,
don't talk
yes,
about the like deep inner work that just all the trauma that just bubbles up that you have no control over.
exactly. I'm still doing a lot of inner work in terms of trauma and body
Hmm.
trauma work, because I was absolutely dissociated with my body,
Hmm.
and I was in order to because I had some childhood sexual abuse when I was a little boy, and I was not aware of this, and this popped up in my when I was doing a meditation during this period. All of a sudden, boom, it came up, and I had some hints, as a result of the work that I did during the last 15 years now. Sometimes, some 15 years ago, I did some constellation work, and they said, "Oh, there is a very big secret in your family that involves these two people." And I said, "I have no idea." So the secret came up during this process. So I'm still doing this work. I don't think I have to, for this phase of my life, I don't think I will have to do a lot more work. I think everything is, but I still have to do some work, and it's helping me also. My hearing is getting better and better as soon as I do this work, very
Hmm.
deep trauma, body related work now.
Yeah, it's like the energy's trapped in there and makes the noise.
See,
I think that's true. I know that we talked about the ear ringing. Mine hasn't been as severe or debilitating as yours, but I definitely get it. And like for me, it's like laying on the ground or like doing something grounding really helps it. And so I do think it is like an energetic thing. And I'm sure you releasing your trauma is an energetic thing.
yeah, exactly. For the ringing in the ears, it's very important to embody yourself and to feel your body.
Hmm.
This is the. Do you still have the tinnitus?
Um, I haven't thought about it in a while. I do. But it's a lot less.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's if now it feels more like just like everything's vibrating all the time. And so it's not so much a sound as like a non-dual integration of sound and sensation and experience, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sí, sí, sí. No, sí, totally, totally. It makes sense.
Yeah, and so
Sí, sí.
it's not like it doesn't keep me up at night anymore. And even the
It used,
sensations, yeah, it used
it
to
did, it did. Okay.
for a
No.
while, yeah.
Ah, okay. So, sí, sí. No, I didn't have that. For me, this tinnitus thing it has been like a catalyst or something that really like when I hear it, it's like it really sends me in. You have to go into your side inside. You have to. I
Mhm.
I connect with emotions like sadness and it's like the message that I still have to do some work.
Yeah, totally.
So, and for instance, my wife, she's now somehow awakening, and she
Hmm.
had in summer one night um, when we woke up, she said, "I now understand what you have been going through, because tonight I woke up at 3, and all of a sudden I had this ear ringing, which was very loud." And then I stood, I meditated, I prayed for the ringing to go away. And I sat down like 2 hours and then I went to bed. And then I woke up and it was fine. No? So it is very connected with spiritual awakening, the ear ringing. It is
Hmm.
very connected. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised people don't talk about it more because I think that's been the most pervasive part of my experience, or the most like ongoing, where it's like even when everything starts to feel normal again, it's like still everything's ringing and vibrating. And so it's like, well, it's not normal anymore. Nothing's normal anymore.
No, nothing is normal anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I was thinking this today. Um, Bueno, as humans, no, we think sometimes in the past, and we think, what, how should I? I wish, no, no, not I wish, but I was saying to myself, yeah, this phase has been so difficult. I wish I would not have had to live it, no. But at the same time,
Hmm.
what I thought immediately is what I felt before getting into the dark night, which I felt very strongly when I was in the best period of my life, that something was missing.
Hmm.
Something was missing. I was having a lot of fun. I was doing what I really love, which is playing music, playing in a lot of clubs here in Ibiza. And I felt that something was missing. And I even mentioned this to my wife and said, look, maybe in Christmas time, I would take some weeks off and I need to go, And then this was in, yeah, July. And then it's in August, the spirit sent me, the universe sent me into the dark night. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, it was something that it had to come and I had to go through because it's part of my soul contract. This is something that I have learned also during all this time.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And what about you?
Um, I've my experience has become a lot more grounded. Like in the early days, there was a lot of clairaudience and hearing voices and sounds and like synchronicities and just like bliss and like all that fun stuff. And then like you, I've mostly been so like I think I've mostly been in somewhat I actually don't even want to call it a dark night exactly, but like in more of a da like Adishanti says up and out is sort of one of the processes, and then we go down and in and deal with the trauma and embodiment and emotional pain and just like seeing and experiencing all of it. And for me, that's been much more grounding. So I don't feel like I'm floating off into space anymore, which, you know, pros and cons. But initially, it was like I was like watching my mind attach to things and then suffer, and watching my mind resist things and then suffer, and over and over again until those processes kind of became simply a thought and a sensation happening in space or in consciousness rather than me, and disidentified from them. And so that was like a big point where I was like, I'm not suffering so much anymore, because if the mind attaches to like, oh, I'm feeling joyful, I want to keep this emotion, and then I'm like something bad happens and I'm not joyful, that used to really be painful. But now I'm not attached to it when I feel joy, so I don't suffer when the joy stops. So that was like a big, I'd say my suffering reduced by like half at that point. But then there's like more and more subtle bits of suffering that I'm seeing, like simply the way the mind is always being like, oh, I want this to be like a little bit different. And then as soon as it's different, it's like whatever the different is isn't good enough. And so it's just like the mind is never happy. And so that's kind of where I'm at now, just looking at the resistance patterns and trying to realize that they're not me.
Yeah, this is very interesting that you mentioned this to me because I am in the same path, Chiki.
Hmm.
I went in September, October 2024. I went on a personal journey to Argentina, to the south of Argentina, and it's called Bariloche and also San Martín de los Andes. Very beautiful place. Patagonia, it's called. And I really felt at that moment that I had to start to practice the surrendering,
Hmm.
and I felt it in an intuitive way, just by watching a lot of YouTube videos of people that really awakened after very traumatic situations, and then finally said, "Okay, I'm done. Do with me whatever you want to do,"
Hmm.
to the universe.
Yep.
So I started to do this, and since then, and it is exactly what you are saying. I am trying to detach from the attachments and to, yeah, trust more life, trust more the universe, and yeah, and I am doing every day in my meditation in the morning. Crazy hours. Sometimes I get up like at 4. I mean, they woke me up at 4, and then I have to do like meditation and surrendering for like 1 hour or something. But I do it also physically in the sense I really I really surrender on the floor. Like do you remember like how Jesus used to pray? Like
Hmm.
when on the knees and on the with the hands like this, on the floor. So I do this also physically because it really is like it's like, okay, let's let go, let go of the attachments of the just trust and let go. And it's exactly what you are experiencing as well,
Hmm.
I think it's part of the journey, and in order to, yeah, probably evolve or do our missions or whatever, it's not easy, but I'm happy that I'm doing this work now. And there is, I have not read it yet, but they have recommended to me. There is this guy, this American guy called Michael Singer,
Hmm.
and this guy has a book about surrendering. Apparently, it's one of the best.
Hmm.
And I have watched a lot of YouTube videos of very good people, that explain you how to do this. So I'm learning my way of doing it, but it's really blissful. When I was in the chaos, in the absolute chaos, like suffering a lot, and all of a sudden I was able to surrender, and then all of this bliss, came. Like I said, okay, I completely surrendered. I don't. I don't care about anything. And then boom,
Hmm.
all this bliss and love came. It's a very difficult state to be in this dimension,
Hmm.
But I think the exercise is worthwhile. And also when I do this and I really connect with myself and with the universe, then the next day the synchronicities are crazy, in terms of angelical numbers, also magical things happening. So yeah, that's a little bit what I am now learning.
Yeah, I agree. Surrender is a big part of it. It feels to me almost like the surrender is surrendering. So like the separate self, the me, was like resisting, that's the natural human condition is just to resist. And then as I've been going through this process, it's like I'm not choosing to surrender. It's almost like the universe is showing me that it's already surrendered. And so like being in alignment with the universe is surrendered, if that makes any sense.
Well, it looks like that you are in a farther phase than me, I think.
I do think that as a psychologist, I did a lot of the like trauma work and inner work prior to awakening before I even knew what awakening was because I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, I'm going to improve myself. And so by the time I woke up, there's been relatively little like traditional trauma. For me, most of the dark night or shadow work has been about just like my attachments to the idea of self and like my attachments to identity itself, not so much um like shame and guilt. Those were mostly resolved prior to awakening. This has been more about like I believe that I'm a self and like letting go of that belief has been really difficult. It's like, oh my God, if I'm not a self, then like I'm all of this and I have no control and I have no agency and I have no doer and like very like kind of like Buddhist path type stuff.
Mhm.
But it's still dark nighty because it's just like a different lens, I think.
Yeah, well, that's very profound.
It is, and it's I think actually not as hard as the trauma work. Like the trauma work is the I think the hardest. It's like once the trauma is out of the body, mostly, like I'm sure there's still some trauma in my body. It's like the mind can then look at like turn around and look at itself and be like, well, then what are you? Like, if you're
Exactly.
not trauma, if you're like, if you don't have that trauma self, then what is left? And turns out nothing.
Well, I had this phase also during, yeah, I think it was, yeah, during 2023 and early 2024, probably until summer last year. Uh, I really struggled because I didn't recognize myself anymore,
Totally.
I used to do things. I used to do sports. I didn't do any of these sports since I went into the dark night. And then you say, who am I? And we discussed this already. I have discussed this with other fellow awakeners, and everybody's going through the same. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I,
it's
I
not
definitely
easy.
went through that as well, where it's like suddenly nothing matters in the same way. And then
Yeah.
like later on, it's like the idea of meaning or mattering dissolves. So it's not just like, oh, I don't like these things anymore, or like I'm not the same person. It's like the whole concept of meaning no longer makes any sense, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and also the frequency,
Hmm.
I used to, for instance, I used to do this cross-country motorcycling sport, and I really liked it, and I still like it. But there's like some frequency thing that I don't connect with anymore.
Hmm. Totally.
I cannot explain it. It's
Hmm.
just a feeling.
Hmm. And I think when you said earlier about the relationships changing, same thing with like certain people, left my life. And I'm like, no, don't leave. But now I can look back and see that it just like they couldn't be in my life at the same frequency. We'll use that word.
Yeah, because we vibrate differently, and I think has also to do with the tinnitus because we change our vibration,
Hmm.
and yeah, and of course the relationships, some of them go away.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing this image in my mind. I think I read something where somebody was like, they just sort of like vibrate away from us because they're like, oh, I don't like that. That doesn't feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, what a journey it is.
yeah, it's a yeah very 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 profound thing. Yeah, but I am now. Yeah,
And so
I
people
mean,
around you are waking up as well. You said your wife, and
my wife,
that's
my
very
wife is
cool.
awake. Yeah, it's we almost, as a result of my personal awakening, we almost separated.
Hmm. It's tough.
Yeah, so yeah, that was it was very difficult, and so yeah, because the people don't understand you, and it's very difficult.
Hmm.
And here in Ibiza, there are some people awakening. Yes, yeah.
Hmm.
There is also a little bit of yes. I mean, here in Ibiza, there are a lot of people that they are quite, conscious or whatever. But there is also this show off thing,
Hmm.
and which is not real. But yeah, the, I have seen, I am seeing that people are awakening, and in Spain, for instance, I see that there is a bunch of young YouTubers, young generations that they are really, really awakened. These generations
Hmm.
are, souls that come very, very awakened.
Hmm.
So this is, I imagine that it's the same in the US.
I
Um,
imagine so.
yeah, and in Argentina, it was very, very much so as well. They are very awakening there. I was very surprised. I mean, of course, the country, they have a lot of problems always, no? Economic problems. And I think this makes you to be more critical. But they are very awakened there. Spiritually speaking, they are super awakened.
Hmm.
And in Spain, I see young people like in their 25s, like very awakened already. So yeah, there is, of course, there is a major awakening. But there are still, I mean, we see, no, how the world is going right now, and well, we still see that there is a lot of not awakening, people that are, all these, yeah, all these wars and all these things. Anyway, but I think there is this trend that people are opening their consciousness.
Hmm. I agree. And it is at least in my world, so like all of my community is a bunch of atheists, and so it's there actually has been a few of them that have woken up in this in a similar way that I did, where it's like, whoa, like what is this thing? I'm not spiritual, I don't know anything about this. And so that's been cool. But it's definitely still rare. And like that's part of the reason why I think I maybe mentioned to you, I'm like building this new website that just provides resources and connections and things for folks because it can be extremely lonely. And like you were saying, like people don't understand what you're going through because it's beyond conceptualization, it's beyond
Yeah,
understanding.
and exactly, and then they judge you, and you are a woo woo, you are from this woo woo movement, and blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I think, um, I have decided that I am somehow going to come out of the closet with this
Mm,
spirituality thing.
I love the way you said that. It's hard for me too. Like because of not being in a spiritual world before, it does feel like coming out of the closet.
Absolutely. So I have decided that I have my Instagram that I am not very much into socials because I think it's, I don't like the energy of this thing. But
Mhm.
I mean, as a DJ, it's important to be there, you know, but what I have decided is that I'm going to talk about spirituality and music and the connection between spirituality and music.
Mhm.
And I'm going to talk about my awakening. Shame arises when I'm speaking this, and I will be a little bit, shame will come. But I think I have to, as part of my mission, I have to do that.
Mhm.
And I have to cope with the judgment of others.
Mhm.
And because I really feel very strongly when I'm talking to you right now that I have to do this. And I really do not like Instagram. I do not like these socials, you know. I find them like super superficial. But I think that that's why there is a need also for some people to say, hey, there is something going on. Open your eyes,
Mhm.
and yeah, and this is what I am going to start doing now
Mhm.
um, in with my Instagram profile.
I think it arises kind of naturally on its own because I had the exact same experience as you where I just resisted it. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want to be judged. And then this like almost like energy just started rising where I'm like, oh my God, I need to talk about this. I started to get really like antsy. Like I couldn't hold down the energy of not talking about it anymore. And so then I started to practice in safe ways, like this conversation is a nice safe way, and with other people who had already awakened. And then I think I like developed confidence or like I felt like the energy release and I'm like, okay, this is it. This is right. And so I've slowly been doing that more and more and realizing like all of the judgment was really just my own judgment. If other people have judgmental thoughts, like it doesn't really have anything to do with me. It just has to do with, their belief systems, and that's fine. They're
Ex-
allowed that. And if I want to keep judging myself, I'm allowed that, but I don't. So, time to just allow that energy to express in whatever way it wants to express.
yeah, I think the time has come. I have looked at the many spiritual videos during all this time
Mhm.
in these 2 years, and yeah, the people that I have seen, people that really say very interesting things, and these people speak about the weirdest things, you know, that
Mhm.
happen to them, and so and they have a lot of followers and everything. So I think, yeah, I'm going to do it here in Ibiza. Bueno, I mean, people do not judge you too much here, or I would say not too much, but well, between the DJs, we will see how they react when I start saying some of them will understand, and but some of them will be like, okay, it's like, but I really believe and feel that there is this very strong connection between music and spirituality. As a
Totally.
matter of fact, music is it's is the expression of the universe through yeah through the music, you know. It's like an expression. I'm just a channel as a DJ
Hmm.
or music curator, you know. um, and for instance, yeah pro, musicians like Mozart or Bach or even Michael Jackson, it was recognized that he had this ability to connect with the divine and get these downloads from his songs, you know. So I really want to talk about this, and how healing the music. Look, I am now getting, when I'm telling you this, I am getting my tinnitus a little bit louder, just for a second. So it's
Mm.
the confirmation that I'm saying the correct thing.
Hmm.
Also, the power of healing of the music,
Hmm.
of the frequency. There is this guy also from America called Jonathan Goldman. I don't know if you have heard about this.
Hmm.
I really recommend you to watch his YouTube videos. There are a few interviews in YouTube. He has also several books, and he's like the person that knows more about how frequency can heal.
Hmm.
So I am also investigating this, in order to incorporate this, include it in my sets, as a DJ. For instance, he says that the intention when either listening to music or playing music, it's the most important thing. Um, Also, for instance, what I'm going to talk about also, in my socials, is about also the healing power of dancing. There is also, I will send this to you. There is dancing school in the UK, that this lady founded as a result of she healing from a very important disease just by dancing. So music, dance, frequency, everything is all this is connected to the divine, to spirituality, to the opening of the consciousness as well. And yeah, that's what I am going to be. That I'm working on this right now, but I still do not know which way I'm going to go.
Hmm.
But for instance, I met this woman some 9 months ago. I was teaching at a party here in Ibiza, and she came to me and she said, "I normally don't say this to DJs, but you are a very good DJ, and most important, you play in the frequency of love." And then when she said this, I said, "Wow, what a responsibility, no? Oh, how nice also." And then she said to me, "Let's talk because I have this mission that is like opening the consciousness of the people through the music." Long story short, we are working on this event that is only about music and dance, and we are doing some underground events here in Ibiza where without any drugs or any alcohol, it's just the very present DJs. There is no lineup, there are no ego, so it's just this event. It's called mass, like a mass when you go to mass,
Hmm.
and it's like, so I am working in this kind of thing, no, this more profound part of the music, no. I think it's very, very profound and sacred, I would even say. People, if I say this, may say this guy is a little bit crazy, but this is what I feel. It's somehow sacred, and
I
it
wish I
has
was
not.
there. That sounds so fun.
Yeah. Well, no, hopefully, if we are able to launch this well, the idea is to do it everywhere in the world in the future. So let's see.
That is very cool.
Let's see. So yeah, and this is what I want to explain in socials.
Hmm.
I have another project also related to music, that I am working on. So yeah, this is my mission. I am also seeing how I do this, because um, of course I have to maintain a family, and I do this as through my work as a lawyer. But this work really drains me, and what I'm trying to do, what I am working right now is to do the shift from this lawyer work into into the music, um, into the music and to find some business in the music industry that can pay also the bills, at least part of the bills,
Mhm.
so that I am able to work less and less as a lawyer.
Yeah, just slowly shift over.
Exactly. And this is what I want to share in socials, So like I
So
said,
so cool.
um,
And so we were talking about, so we're recording this video. Is it okay that I share this video so that people can learn about these music
of
styles?
course, of course,
Cool.
of course, absolutely, it's not a problem. I'm happy that other people get this information about my experiences.
Yeah.
But
Because
for instance, right,
the real genuine experiences are so different than what like you read about in books. It's like it's hard and gritty and like real jobs and real families and spacey, weird experiences. And I think people need to know that it's weird.
exactly, exactly. I went to this retreat in Morocco this last April and May with a very, 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 very powerful Spanish woman from the north of Spain, Valladolid. And she's very connected, really connected. But she said, okay, everything is very nice. And she does these Akashic records, amazing Akashic records. Really, she nails it. And she said, yeah, this is very nice. Everything is very nice, but I have to go to supermarket and I have to buy the food for my for my son. So, you know, so it's exactly what you are saying. So it's like this. We are in this on this earth in this dimension, and we cannot always be like there. We have to. That's the challenge.
Mhm.
That's the challenge. And yeah, sometimes I had also during these 2 years, I had also some mystical experiences, very very profound mystical experiences without taking anything. It's just I went into a deep trance before going to sleep and very crazy stuff, very nice because I connected with everything. I felt that I was everything. I've felt and knew at that moment that I had all the information of the universe. I felt that nothing was important on earth in terms of attachments. Yeah. And then I was like, what is this? It was very nice, but then where am I?
Yeah.
So it was
And
very
then you
nice
come back and you're
experience.
like, oh, where did that go?
Exactly, exactly. My ego dropped me back because the fear came up, no?
Hmm.
Um, but all these experiences, you have to somehow combine them with the real life, with paying the invoices, to the work. I have a 11-year-old daughter that needs care and love. So yeah,
Hmm.
attend my clients as a lawyer also. So it's not easy, but well, we learn, no? We are learning by doing.
Hmm.
It is, as you said, it is not like in the books, no, that everything is like super happy. Like I
No,
said,
I don't even
mm,
understand how people write those books. Like, I don't know. This just, I know that maybe that's part of the process that we're not at yet, but this is like part of the process too. And it's so important and it's what people actually struggle with. So it feels like a little bit like some of the books are like a sales pitch, like peace and love and bliss. And it's like, well, yeah, that's part of it, but like everything is part of it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the experiences that I have shared with fellow awakeners, most of them, all of them have had very difficult times
Hmm.
in their awakenings. If these awakenings are real,
Hmm.
because maybe they are in a pre-awakening.
Hmm.
In the pre-awakening, you can be also very connected, but maybe you are not still in the real awakening. And I think the real awakening comes through this dark night thing.
I
In my case,
totally agree with you. Yeah, it is interesting meeting people who are very connected or like channeling or things like that who haven't yet had an awakening. It's kind of cool that you can have that without having this the challenging part.
absolutely,
It's just
absolutely.
different.
It's very cool. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact.
A little jealous.
Yeah, but what I have learned also during this time is that everything is because it has to be. This is
Yeah.
something that I really, really have understood
Mhm.
during these months. You know, everything is because it has to do, has to be
Mhm.
because we. I am not absolutely sure because this is a guess, but I have seen so many YouTube videos about near-death experiences
Mhm.
where these people explain about everything. I have learned so much in spirituality because these are real people that really had these experiences. And yeah, they were saying also about the soul contracts, you know? So yeah, it's like, and also when I have these situations in life and they are hard, but then now I have I am very sure that this, everything is because it has to be. It's because of what you agreed before incarnating, and also because of your best development as a human, even though this might be very very painful.
Mhm. Yeah, totally agree. Everything is as it must be. All right, Juan. Well, I'm gonna run, but let's chat sooner than another year from now.
Yes, let's do this, Chiki. In any event, I
Yeah,
will send you this information
thank
on
you.
email, and has been a real pleasure talking to you. I really felt a very deep and strong connection when we
Me,
were talking.
me too. You're very easy to talk to.
Yeah. Ok, Chiqui,
All
take it
right.
easy.
Talk to you
Hasta
soon.
pronto. Chao,
Bye.
chao.